everybody, Jordan here at the North 40 Fly Shop in Sandpoint, Idaho, doing some fly tying tutorials for you today. Today we're going to be tying a cool little crane fly pattern that I came up with a couple years ago. Had some customers come in and during the crane fly hatch. I mean, we'll see them throughout the summer here in North Idaho, but they really come to life around end of July, August into the fall, when that's about the only thing aquatic hatching on our rivers. You know, as they call it, the dog days of summer is when the crane fly really shines. It's early on you can fish, obviously you can fish the crane fly larva all year long, but then you'll see this aquatic crane fly bounce around the water, and trout will just aggressively hit these on the top like crazy. And it's about the only, sometimes they can get real selective, so they'll just key in on this crane fly pattern. And had customers coming in wanting to tie one, wanting to buy one out of the bins, and so I kind of came up with this upside down version with these legs. A lot of the ones you'd find commercially had like pheasant tail legs or rubber legs, and on this one I inverted the hook and I'm using larva lace, midge lace for the legs. It rides really good in the water, looks really correct to the bug. It can be a fun one. It can be a game changer for you out there in August if you're dealing with some finicky trout eating off the top and nothing you got in the box will please them, and you have something this in your arsenal. It can turn the day around for you. So yeah, let's get started and tie it. Alright guys, let's get ready to tie this one. Getting started here, I use these, it's a 3X long hook with the straight eye. When I'm doing these inverted flies, I like using the straight eyes, because then again when it's flipped up, the eye isn't going up, it's just flat. It seems to ride a little better for a dry fly. So get started here. I use a pretty thin thread on these. I'm using a 12-aught from Vivas. And it's easy to over bulk dry flies, so I prefer using really thin thread on dry flies. And I like to dress.
Customer service to trailer aisle, please. Trailer park, please.
Especially on this one, we'll dress this all the way back to about there. So when you hang your thread, it should be about touching the barb of the hook there. A little over. About is a good place to start. We've got some 1mm foam here.
Customer service to chainsaw, please.
One thing I like to do is just lay it right on top, because obviously this will be the bottom of the hook. So lay this foam down and give myself plenty of room here. Have some overhang on the hook eye. I like to just grab it.
You know, when these boys hooked up the computer and tested to see that it worked,
Just wrap it in like that. Wrap back over it, and we're just going to cover all this down, compress it nice and full.
and we're paying our bills. Now, if you drop this down to 1 day and our computer doesn't work, we're not going to pay
Get it nice and compressed down. So then at this point you can cut this excess off, won't need it. So run your thread back here, and you're going to pull this over and gap it a bit. You see here I've got my thread, it kind of shows you if you can see the thread there. Pull this over, give it a wrap, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is about enough, pull this out of the way, come forward, fold it back in. What we're doing here is doing a nice little segmented body, as you can see there. Come up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come forward. And you want to leave yourself a good bit of room here, because there's going to be quite a bit going in on the front of this fly. 2, 3, 4, just like that. So now we've got a nice little segmented body, nice and buoyant. So what the trout sees is that, and just thread in the segments, real nice. So now at this point, even though this is a rotary vise, I like to take these out and finish them up like this. So at this point, this is how the fly is going to ride, hook point up. Pretty cool presentation. So you can wrap back into your last segment there. And then at this point, Take some ginger dry fly hackle. These are going to serve as the wings of the crane fly. If you look at the actual bug, it's got some real slender wings that come off the back like this. And this ginger does a pretty good job at representing that. So, one on each side. I've pre-stripped these to the length. I like them to go a little past the hook point there. You can always shorten them up too, but looks pretty good there. So just pull some off and tie one right on one side, kind of on the top. And you can kind of pull it over. Leave that one there. Grab your next one. Tie it in on the far side, the away from you side. You can even pull them down to size a little bit, get them lined up. And the size of these wings is a little exaggerated, but to me it looks a little more even doing them this way. Clip those off, and now at this point, I use grizzly hackle on this one. You could also use ginger. I like the grizzly for some reason. Gives it some depth. Looks nice. So again, just peel off the barb, expose the stem. I'll tie this in on my side of the hook. I tied it in really good because this is just going to hang out here while I attach all of my legs. So I make sure it's attached on there real good. Now we can wrap back and start attaching legs. So for the legs, I've got some pre-knotted here. And this is just copper colored midge lace larva lace. And all I do is I'll tie one here for you to show you how it's done. Take some larva lace, twist it over. You can see that. Kind of tough though. So I've just got an overhand knot, pull it down, puts a little elbow in it. Works out pretty good. So now, 3 legs on each side. And on this first one, I have it kind of pointing back at an angle, quartering back towards the fly. And I tie all these legs right on top. Some good securing wraps, and you kind of sort them so they move. They've got good movement to them. So just like that, cut your excess off, use it for the next one. Take another knotted piece of midge lace, same thing, point it back, right on top is where you'll tie it in. And what you can do is get a loose wrap on there, just grab them and pull them to length. Get them as even as you can. I mean, on a fly that, like as leggy as this, and in the current, if you're skating it, the legs don't have to be perfect. Just like that, there's your back legs. Move forward just a touch. Put in some middle legs, same thing. Tie them in on top. 1 or 2 loose wraps to secure it, and you can pull them down to length where you want them. Cut off the excess. Take another bent leg. And a fly like this, it's easy to crowd the eye. As you see, I'm giving myself plenty of space to work in. Because after I get all 6 legs on, I've got to run this hackle through it too. So you want to give yourself plenty of room. Tie that in. Clip off the excess. And slightly forward with the thread. And we will do our last set of legs. Sometimes, as you can see, these are kind of getting in your way. Kind of preen them back a little bit, get them out of your way. Takes a little practice dealing with this many legs. If you've ever done path rubber legs, you know. Even figure 8 over these a little bit just to really secure them. Sometimes the figure 8 can change the direction of which way they're going too. Real leggy fly. Cut it off. And time for one last leg. Tie the knot. Couple of loose wraps. Slight figure 8 to change the position of it. Just like that. Cut your excess off. And those are the legs. Crazy legs everywhere. And then the last step, it's a pretty quick little tie. You take your hackle, and as you're wrapping through, just move all those legs out of the way. Put one good wrap in behind these back ones. Start working my way through them. I like doing touching wrap on the hackle. Makes it look a little cleaner, nice and full. Move them all out of the way. And keep constant pressure on this hackle as you're moving it. If you let go, it'll lose its pressure and kind of jump on you a little bit. Not the end of the world, but keeping pressure on it's important. And we'll jump in front here. A couple wraps in front. Catch it with our thread. Forward back. Reach in, don't hit into your legs. If some of your legs got kind of mishappen there. So another thing you can do, guys, is we're pretty much done now. I like to kind of clean up the hook eye a bit, pull some of that hackle away. You can always give it a haircut too at the end. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Just grab your whip finisher, throw in a whip finish. A little tricky with all those legs in the way, but reach in there, clear those legs if you can. Alright, and that's the fly. Simple little fly, quick little tie. It's a fun one too. Last step would be to kind of clean these legs up a little bit. What I like to do is I just grab them, grab one side, kind of measure them out with the one blade of my scissors, and just lop them off evenly. Same with the other side. Just get them close. I don't think the trout are going to be down there with a tape measure, so if they aren't perfect, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, that's it, guys. That is the heat wave crane fly. Good little pattern for late summer into fall, even midsummer time. It's a good little pattern. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any more questions about this fly or the materials we used, please feel free to come see us in the shop in Sandpoint, or visit us online at north40flyshop.com. Got a lot of good resources on there, or also our social media page where these videos are found. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at North40Fly Shop. Thanks for watching.